It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, everybody. Ernie Johnson here. Shaq's here. Kenny's here. Welcome to this edition of 2K Sports. Tonight, it'll be the Detroit Pistons going up against the Orlando Magic at Amway Center. The Magic come into this one following a loss to the Raptors. They suffered a blowout loss, trying to leave that one in the rear view and focus on the game at hand. Tonight, two teams that crash the glass. Kenny, when you think of the great rebounders in this league, what are some of their key attributes?
Oh, they get that position, and then they hold it. They maintain it. That's the key.
Maintaining the position.
Yes, because you can get pushed under. If you come down with the rebound yourself, you can't do it, let's say, just tip it out. Great rebounders do that too. They'll just tip it out to the guards, and then we can start the fast break.
What's the key to good rebounding?
You got to assume every shot is going to be missed. And, Ernie, nothing replaces great hustle.
Oh, that's true. That is so true.
I could box you out.
I know you
I would
could.
keep you off the glass.
Oh, no question.
Yeah. Kevin Harlan standing by.
You and your 6 rings.
There you go again.
Welcome and happy holidays from 2K Sports. It's time for NBA action. With Greg Anthony and Hall of Famer Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. And joining us on the sidelines, another Hall of Famer, David Aldridge. Last outing for Orlando, the loss to Toronto. And guys, the hometown fans not pleased with that dreadful performance. They saw their team get knocked out cold.
And with your defense, one part's your ability, the other, though, is effort, and that one they showed neither.
No, there's no question, Greg. I thought their defensive intensity was lacking from the outset. It looked like they were just hoping the other team would miss.
Looking at the midseason numbers for international viewership, Doris, the league is really making an impression around the world.
I know soccer is maybe the biggest sport worldwide, but what has struck me over the last 5 to 10 years is how global a game basketball has become, and the fact that it's one of the fastest growing sports in the entire world. And make no mistake, to me, it's the league that has brought this ability to bring people together with incredible stars who fans can relate to. The one guy that comes to mind, obviously, Steph Curry.
Well said. The vision of the league, to me, is just incredible and unequal. And a look at the starters for the Pistons. The athletic front pair is Griffin and Drummond. Kennard is out there with Reggie Jackson. And it's Robinson in at the 3, the small forward. Now, here's Fournier. 20 points for him last game against Toronto.
And he passed the ball so well in that game, keeping everybody involved, even as he was racking up all those points.
And Doris, last year, another season where Evan Fournier continued to improve his scoring.
Well, it's really been amazing to watch this guy refine his game over the last several years. Very judicious with the shots he takes. Not going to wow you too often, but a very consistent contributor.
First free throw is good.
I think what we're seeing from Evan Fournier is this guy is a terrific young player who's willing to do a little bit of everything.
And so Fournier nails both of them. And when you look at Evan Fournier, he's just a reliable source for points whenever he's on the floor.
Yeah, and Fournier is a bit of a quiet scorer. I mean, always ends up with a lot of points, but doesn't tend to wow you with any individual plays. Terrific shooter who just makes the most of his touches and his minutes whenever he's on the floor. You know, we talk about it all the time, guys. Those second chance buckets, always the result of that extra effort.
Augustine passes to Fournier from 12 feet out. Detroit with the rebound. They defeated Indiana in their last game.
I mean, they were so impressive offensively And when you do that, that can really help you on the road.
I think intensity is the key, right, Greg? When you play with energy on the offensive end, good things usually happen.
So it's Orlando now, following the bucket by the Pistons. Clock at 6. Shoots the 3, and they'll turn it over. Could not get off a shot. 24-second violation. For Detroit, they've gone 3 of 4 from the field to start out the game. Pass to Drummond. Shoots over Mozgov, and Detroit again with the bucket.
Boy, that makes them 4 out of 5 to start this thing. They're finding very good shots early on.
Earlier, David Aldridge spoke with head coach Dwayne Casey. Dave, what'd you find out?
Well, Kevin, I asked him about their defensive strategy, and he said their number one concern was taking away the path to the basket. Normally, three-point shooting is a concern, but in this game, he said, I don't care how far off the shooters we have to play. We want those guys taking jumpers and threes instead of driving and dunking on us. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. And the shot goes in.
It was all about his athleticism when Griffin first came into the league, but it didn't take long to see he was about a lot more than that. He's got serious skills down low.
Now here's Ross. He had a 21-point outing in their last game against Toronto. To halt the run, Robinson pulls it in.
Really just struggling here in the first few minutes. 5 attempts with only 1 falling.
Count it.
And this has been a great job of just getting into the middle of that defense and really scoring effectively from the paint.
And it'll be Orlando with their first time out of the game right here.
I think one thing Dwayne Casey has learned is it's important to keep your star players fresh by managing minutes in the regular season. That way, you're not worried about fatigue or injury.
The Magic trail by 8. And Augustine kicks to Mozgov. And there's the call on Andre Drummond. That's his first foul. And there's the call on Andre Drummond. That's foul number 2 for him. And with Casey, he also keeps his team doors on their toes.
Right, and it goes beyond the ability to stretch deep into your bench, right? You have to mix up your practices. You have to mix up your daily routines. All the little things to keep his players from going through the motions.
Detroit making a switch here. Lewis checked in. Now here is Augustine. Last time out, he had 13 points. And the shot goes in.
And that's what he does. I mean, he is a bucket getter.
Detroit leading by 6. There's Jackson with the 3. Bangs home the trifecta. Jackson's got 5 points so far.
And the story here, Kevin, early on is how well they've shot the basketball.
Jackson against Augustine. Outside Fournier. 5 to shoot. Here's Ross. Kennard with the rebound. For Detroit, they've gone 7 of 8 from the field to start the game. Very hot shooting. That pushes it to double digits.
Defensively, giving up far too many open rhythm looks.
The Magic trail by 11. Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively for sure.
Augustine dishes to Fournier. That one, no good.
You can see he just rushed that a little bit. Lost the focus, I think.
Jackson misses. And so it's Augustine who will bring it up for the Magic. Passes it to Mozgov. Count that one.
Boy, you have got to love the dime, the pass on time and on target.
And here are the Pistons now. They're on a 17-6 run. Jackson kicks to Griffin. Over Martin. Again, the Pistons good for 2. Here is Augustine. The scoring numbers have been solid for him. He's averaging just under 14 points a game. And he uses the glass on the layup.
Boy, defender taken out of the play with a rock-solid screen. No way he's going to get through that.
Jackson against Augustine. And it's DJ Augustine with the foul. That is his first foul of the game. Doris, for both charting game action and improving player health, the players now are being tracked by the player tracking devices or chips in their jersey during a game.
I love it, Kevin, because what it enables teams to do is measure the impact and the toll it can take on a player. For example, we now know that player X ran 5 miles on this particular night in this game action environment. And what that affords you is, okay, if you have a back-to-back situation, then you're going to be more careful with that player's minutes the next night. Or if it's an off day, Kevin, you can just say to that player, listen, unless we're doing a walkthrough, you're not involved. I want you off your feet and recovering. Anything that helps the competitive environment that these players are playing in, I'm all for it, Kev.
That was an excellent example. I like that.
And Blake Griffin said early in his career he used to rely on his athleticism to get by. He said the problem was every season he'd be worn out by February. So diversifying his offensive game has helped him to kind of withstand the rigors of a long NBA season.
Shooting 2.
The first one falls. And Greg, you look at a lot of the volume dunkers over the years, their bodies often wear down. You think of Amari Stoudemire, Antonio McDyess, even Dwight Howard.
Yeah, I think Griffin could see the writing on the wall. He used to get over 200 dunks in a season, now less than half that number. But the trade-off, hopefully, will be longevity and an increased skill set.
Blake Griffin hits them both. And for Detroit, a lot of changes, Greg, in their front office this past offseason.
A new GM and Dwayne Casey brought in to coach. Could see a drastic shift in style and approach for the Pistons moving forward.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
The Magic have been perfect at the line so far, albeit just 2 for 2.
Yeah, and over the course of the season, they're a respectable 78%. That comes in handy in close games.
Simmons checked in for Orlando. Grant comes in for DJ Augustine. That's good from Martin. Now Smith. A 14-point game for him in the win against the Pacers in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I was also struck by how well he shared the basketball. He created a lot of easy buckets with that passing ability.
Now here is Smith. 6-point game. Out to the wing. Here's Bullock. Not going to go that time. Excellent D there from Mozgov. Now here's Isaac. He's averaging just around 8.5 points a game. Excellent D that time from Robinson. Griffin finds Smith. Back to Griffin. Over Martin. They get the rebound. The shot's good from Griffin. Griffin's got 10 points.
Well, this is the classic hot hand, right? If he can keep it up, their lead will be safe.
Pass to Grant. To the middle. Here's Simmons. And Simmons slams it in.
Boy, the vertical is eye-popping. Jonathan Simmons, what a finish.
Smith kicks to Griffin. Shoots over Mozgov. Hits the difficult fadeaway jumper. And 12 points for Blake Griffin.
Boy, he has exploded. You couldn't ask for a better quarter from a guy.
Grant outside. And Griffin sends it back. They get it back. 4 on the clock. Martin from outside. It drops for his third basket. He's missed only one shot.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Smith kicks to Griffin. Now the pass to Lure. Tried to come right back with the three of his own, but it's no good. Grant surveying the D. Pass to Simmons. Back to Grant. And it's good off the back of the rim and in. Now just a three-point Detroit lead.
And very little defense here to start the game.
Boy, both teams rolling right now on the offensive end. We got a little barn burner cooking.
Now here's Lure. Still looking for his first bucket in this one. Griffin passes to Bullock. And Lure kicks to Robinson. He drains it as the shot clock ticks down.
I love the ball movement there. He put that on a silver platter. Just served him up.
Smith against Grant. Outside, Simmons. Mozgov dishes to Simmons. Isaac passes to Grant. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line. And just an impossible shot to guard at times, Doris. When you think of that step-back jump shot in the league, it's lethal. And there are a couple guys who have perfected it.
Well, two in particular. James Harden, that step-back that he added is now unguardable. And Steph Curry as well. Those two men, when they decide to get to that step-back jumper, turn the lights out, close the gym doors, and step back because it's going in.
The free throw drops for Grant.
One thing you have to consider if you're the Orlando Magic is finding some level of consistency. And I mean that both in terms of the roster and the coaching staff. To me, when there's a lot of turnover in both of these departments, it can take its toll on an organization, and we've seen that with Orlando.
Ken Burge is checked in for Orlando. And Grant drops them both. As you said, Doris, a lot of coaching and personnel changes for the Magic recently.
Well, think about it, Kevin. 4 different head coaches since 2015, and that doesn't even include the interim coaches. You know, to me, you've got to have a direction and approach that is consistent year after year. If you're going to have any measure of stability, it has to come from the top down.
Here's Simmons following the three by Detroit. Grant down low. He's against Lure, and he gets the basket. Officials blowing the whistle, so a chance at the line for one more. The Magic have been on target from the free throw line. They're 5 of 5 in that department. Pistons leading by 3. Smith outside, takes a 3. That shot missing. The Magic go the other way with it.
And already they've staked out a noticeable advantage in terms of aggression and controlling the backboard.
Well, defenders are in the area, and that's all it took to force him to change his release.
And so Grant will bring it up for the Magic. Floats one, and he gets contact and the whistle on the shot. 2 shots coming up. And there's a foul against Detroit.
2.
The Magic have been excellent at the free throw line here today. A flawless 6 for 6. And the first one drops. This Orlando Magic team, one that isn't expected to compete just yet, still in the midst of collecting talent.
Well, Kevin, I don't know if you want to call it a rebuild or a reset for this franchise, but there is some youth to build around. They're getting some good talent. Obviously, they were hoping to jump into the top 3 in last year's draft. This is going to take some time, and the fan base has got to be patient.
And Grant drops them both. There's a minute left here in the first quarter. Jackson looking it over. Fires the 3. And the rebound goes to Martin. Martin's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Isaac kicks to Grant. Now the dish to Simmons. 35 seconds left to play in the first quarter. 6 on the shot clock. From deep. The shot that time not on target. And the Pistons now going the other way. Their last meeting was in Orlando, where they were unable to fight off the Magic.
And when things started to go wrong for them in that game, boy, did they ever go wrong. They just could never get back on track in that game.
Stretches where they strung some good plays together, but then long stretches where nothing worked, no consistency.
Misses off the right iron. 1 quarter in the books, and it's been a close one so far. Pistons lead by 1. 2K Sports, back in a moment from the Amway Center. One of the most dominant big men in the league, Andre Drummond, says he's learned how to be a leader on this team.
Watching previous guys who've led this team and did the things that they did, I write that kind of stuff in the back of my head and just say, this is something I need to do this. Or if I see something I didn't like, this is something I probably will stay away from. And I think now that I'm in a role where I could kind of lead this team, I kind of have the blueprint on what I need to do to make this team successful.
And, Greg, with Blake Griffin, he's got somebody to take some of that leadership role alongside him.
And those two will be pivotal in deciding just how good this team can be.
And some good action in the books as we get back to the game that's been pretty close here so far. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from Detroit?
Listen, early on taking the league, I just like their approach offensively.
I think their play calling has been exceptional. They've played with purpose, and they've played with aggressiveness.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. On the court for Orlando, Grant is out there with Jonathan Simmons. Then there's Jonathan Isaac, and it's Birch in at the center position. Okay, well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
Well, guys, the Orlando Magic has struggled to find difference-making players in the draft or in free agency. Their goal is to get younger but get better at the same time, and it's difficult to do even in the Eastern Conference, but Orlando is determined to get this right. Kevin?
And the journey continues for them and a lot of teams. DA, thank you. And Grant, no good on that one. Doris, when you talk about coaching, aside from wins and losses, how can you gauge if a coach is doing a good job?
Well, you make a great point, Kevin, because if an organization is in a rebuild situation, then winning is almost impossible because you're outgunned and outmanned every single night. So to evaluate those coaches, here are the things I would look at. One, are you maximizing the talent at your disposal? Are your player development skills at such a degree that you're seeing incremental improvement from the guys on your roster? And then ultimately, Kevin, are guys playing hard? Are they competitive every night? Even if the wins don't necessarily show in the box score and at the end of the regular season, the reality is, are you playing hard? Are you competitive?
Here's what Orlando's going with right now. Fournier is checked in for Simmons, and DJ Augustine subbed in for Jaren Grant. Now, here's Fournier. And you know the points will always be there for him. He's averaging just a shade under 20 points a game right now.
And even with good coverage defensively that time, he has confidence to drill the three.
Well, can't find the target, but good work to get into open space inside the arc.
Now here's Ross. He's guarded closely. Augustine, no luck. The Pistons have gone 1 of 3 to start out the second quarter. Here's Galloway. He's guarded by Fournier. Launches it. It's hauled in by the Magic.
You can't miss those, but even the best do on occasion.
Augustine against Jackson. And Augustine kicks to Isaac. Rebound, Detroit. Drummond's got 4 rebounds now tonight. Galloway taking his time here. That's good, and he's now 3 for 4 from the field.
Power guard is an apt description for Galloway. He just stampeded his way right through the defense.
Augustine with it, guarded now by Jackson. Augustine dishes to Ross. Kennard with the rebound. Pistons leading by 3. Galloway kicks to Jackson. But they get it back. Second chance shot out left to the wing. Ross with the steal. Fournier goes in. He feeds it to Ross. Orlando moving the ball around. On the money from 12 feet away. Ross has got his first basket.
When the mid-range is working for Terrence Ross, he's going to create problems. It's just a matter of can he do it consistently, Kev.
Now here's Lure. Still getting warmed up offensively. No scoring yet from him. Here's Jackson. Right through the D for the layup. And the Pistons lead by 3.
Absolutely fearless. I mean, a nice subtle adjustment there going up against Wynn.
And to me, that's all about the body control, right, Greg? I mean, he does such a stellar job sizing up his man and drains it despite having the size on him.
Here is Ross, following the score by Reggie Jackson. Terrence Ross, Doris, one of the more athletic wingmen in the league.
Right, Kevin. This guy's got great reach and frame for the position he plays, and he's always been able to dazzle at times, but he can also disappear. So this guy's got to find that ability to get involved and stay active.
The first one falls. And both free throws good for Ross. The Pistons leading. Jackson with it. He had 16 points in the win against the Pacers in Indianapolis. And Lure kicks to Galloway. Pulls it up. Pistons keep it alive. Now here's Drummond. Not a lot of room. Ross with a wide open look. Knocked away. And so it looks like the Magic will retain possession here. Let's now pause to take a look at the scoring breakdown between the front and back court of tonight's contests for Orlando. Kicks to Augustine. And John Lure gets the whistle that time. That's his 4th foul of the contest.
And that's his 4th foul. And we're not even at halftime. That is going to limit his playing time and his aggressiveness the rest of the game.
And the Magic making a change here. Mozgov's checked in, and Detroit with a change here too. Glenn Robinson, the third, is checked in for Reggie Jackson. Now here is Augustine. Clock at 6. Lure against Fournier. That gives them the lead. Fournier's got 6 points.
Well, Evan Fournier is so calm and cool and collected under duress of the shot clock. Nice job to deliver.
Mozgov with the steal. Ross for 3. Knocks down the 3 ball. And now a 4-point Orlando lead.
You know, rough start for him, but he seems to have turned the corner here in the second period.
Kennard kicks to Lure. Down low to halt the run and finished off by Lure.
Yeah, great look there. Credit Galloway with the vision to spot the open man.
The Pistons shooting their third free throw attempt of the game.
Yeah, and over the course of the season, they're a respectable 78%. That comes in handy in close games.
Ish Smith, he's checked in for Langston Galloway.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
And here's Augustine. It's Fournier on the wing. He kicks it to Mozgov. Now here's Fournier. Defense is right there for 3. Ross. There it is. His third basket. He's taken 7 shots to get those 3.
Boy, this guy has been transcendent this quarter. Something really lit a fire underneath this guy.
Smith outside. Here's Kennard. It's good. The assist that time from Smith. He has 5.
And that's how you answer back.
Well, you can tell that was a little give good, get good. Executed well on the offensive end, connects on the deep threat.
Now here is Augustine.
Yeah, that one put them over the limit, and it's so early that if they're not careful, this could turn into a parade at the free throw line.
It's his first trip to the line.
And to look at his percentage from the line, you see him at 89%. That's an indicator of what a consistent stroke he has.
And he makes the first. Griffin's checked in for the Pistons. Good on both.
Probably as close to a sure thing as you can have at the free throw line.
Well, Steve Clifford takes over here in Orlando, and of course he is known for his frankness and his disciplined approach to the game. You think about Clifford's teams, they rarely make unforced errors and are some of the best at minimizing their own mistakes.
That one's good, and the Magic lead is cut to just 1 point on the basket from Robinson.
And just showing you his determination despite the size difference.
I mean, how does he get that shot off? I mean, he had to angle that perfectly to get past the defender.
No good from Ross. And for Clifford, his job in Orlando, Doris, will be to develop the skills of his very young core.
That is correct, and he'll try to get this young group to play intelligently, minimize turnovers. You remember he once famously said the NBA isn't about winning, it's about winning in the playoffs.
And there's the call on Andre Drummond. That's his 3rd foul so far. Bonus situation in effect, so we'll head to the free throw line for 2.
Timothy Mozgov.
That free throw, no good.
You know, we've seen a lot of centers not very strong at the free throw line, but Mozgov very good at converting these freebies.
Catching up on the changes for Orlando. Jarrell Martin comes in for Cam Birch, and it's Jaron Grant in for Augustine. And the second free throw, good. Detroit's gone 1 of 3 from way outside since the start of the second quarter. Smith kicks to Griffin. Lobbed up there for Drummond. Mozgov with the steal. Outside Fournier. Dishes to Grant. Passes to Ross. Now here is Martin. 5 on the clock. The three. That one doesn't go. And it's Detroit the other way. Here's Griffin. They get it back. Drummond. That one goes in for him too, making it look easy. He's now 4 for 4.
And not afraid to say it. If Drummond isn't the best rebounder in the NBA, he's got to be in the top 3. That goes for both ends of the floor. Just no way to hold him in check on the board.
Now here's Fournier. He has 6. Here's Martin. Lays it up off the glass. Martin's got the game tied up here for Orlando.
Oh, nice screen. Really a poor defensive reaction and the obvious result.
You simply can't give him that. You have to fight through the screen and at least get a hand in the face of the shooter.
Here's Griffin, and the layup's good off the glass. Griffin's got 14.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
Smith against Grant. Outside Fournier. Feeds it to Martin. Mozgov kicks to Grant. Over Smith. That one wide left. The Pistons shooting has been outstanding in this game at 58%. Here's Griffin. Pass to Kennard. Softly drops in the floater. And now a 4-point Piston lead.
Boy, what touch. You know, a lot of guys don't have the kind of feel necessary to make the floater.
Here's Grant. Nice D from Griffin.
Boy, that's exactly how you have to play defense when he's driving the lane. You cannot give him any space.
Outside Robinson. Banked in off the glass. Robinson's got 4 this quarter.
Wow, he doesn't make plays like that very often. That's a nice move inside.
Martin up top. And the pass to Ross. A 3 ball. And the rebound goes to Griffin. Griffin's got his 5th rebound right now in the game.
And they hold a huge advantage on the backboards.
Here's Kennard. 9 points last game out. From 15 feet away, Drummond controls the rebound and puts it back up and in.
Yeah, that's the 3rd bucket in a row from the paint. This defense needs to clog those lanes in the middle.
Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off.
Boy, as aggressive as he's been hitting all these shots, they're still behind.
Smith against Grant. Pass to Griffin. From outside the arc, Fournier pulls it down. The Magic trail by 5. There's 42 seconds left here in the second. Grant outside. Out of bounds, Detroit takes possession. Jonathan Simmons is checked in for Ross. And the Pistons making a change here as well. Reggie Bullock, he's checked in for Kennard. Pistons leading by 5. Smith the pass to Bullock. To the paint. Smith with the basket on the assist by Drummond.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
There's 18 seconds left in the first half of basketball. Robinson against Fournier. Grant outside. That's good on the jump shot. Grant's got 13 points. And that's it for the first half of action in what's been a very close game here. The Pistons on top, leading by 5. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Kevin, thanks. Here with Coach Clifford. What was the biggest problem for your guys in the first half?
Well, you know what? We're a defensive team first, and we've been good defensively. We've been organized. We weren't that in that first half, and that's what we got to concentrate to get the game going back our way.
See if you revert back to your form in the second half. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, thank you, David. And folks, don't go away. After the break, we'll see you right back here for the start of quarter number 3.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hi again, everyone. I'm Ernie Johnson, sitting alongside the Diesel and the Jet. Welcome to the halftime show on 2K Sports. Some incredible work in this one by Blake Griffin. He had 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 block. Kenny, what's your take on Detroit so far?
You can see where the priorities are. Rebounding, and then more rebounding. They made a concerted effort to get the glass clean.
And Shaq, let's get your input on the Magic.
The thing I like is their aggressive approach and getting to the line. You know, when things seem to stagnate on offense, it's sometimes a matter of forcing your will. This team can generate a lot of points and also dictate the pace of the game if they play with that aggressiveness.
And that's all we have for now. Tell the folks goodbye, Shaq. Tell the folks goodbye,
Goodbye.
Kenny. Goodbye. Go to Kevin Harlan.
Flying high above Lake Eola in downtown Orlando as we welcome you back to the action at the Amway Center. And we're halfway through this one. Plenty of basketball left in a game that's been fairly even so far. You look at Blake Griffin in this game. He's been everywhere.
And through the first 2 quarters, they went to him repeatedly in the post, and boy, did he deliver.
And why not, Greg, right? If you continue to produce, just get him shot after shot. Super assertive right now on the interior.
And we've got second half action for you. Thus far, a pretty evenly contested game. Detroit leading by 5. And on the floor for Dwayne Casey starting the second half. The big men are Griffin and Drummond. Jackson is out there with Kennard, and it's Robinson in at the 3 spot. Here's Griffin. Looks good, is good. That's his 7th basket in 12 tries.
I'm sorry, that's poor defense down low again. It's been a mismatch thus far in the paint.
And so it's Augustine who will bring it up for the Magic. It's off to Charlotte for him after this game as they take on the Hornets. And that's the first of 6 played on the road. Ross, that's good.
And you talk about getting back into the game, folks. 3 is better than 2.
And you don't need to tell him that. He's used the 3-point shot as his primary weapon today.
Now let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Well, guys, it seems every season new records are set for the number of three-pointers made and attempted. It's proven to be successful, and of course, it is a copycat league. It's hard to know why it took so long for everyone to catch on, but now that they have, the effects continue to ripple throughout the league.
They sure have, David. Thank you. Now here is Augustine, following the miss by Griffin. Augustine looking around. Ross against Robinson. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
And looking now at the numbers for Fournier, his last 10 games, he's around 18 points per game, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds. And this is the kind of strong, steady play you like to see. He's earning his keep and helping them win games.
I think they need more consistency from him, and they're getting it. Look for this to continue. I love it.
First one falls for him. And both free throws good for Ross. For Detroit, they've gone 1 of 3 since starting the second half. Drummond finds Griffin. Now here's Jackson, covered by Martin. And it's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Jackson. Here's a look at the schedule for the Orlando Magic. On Monday, they'll tip off a road trip in Charlotte where they'll take on the Hornets. And then on Wednesday, they'll go up against the Bulls in Chicago.
And for their matchup with the Clippers, that's going to be one where it would take a lot of errors and maybe a cold shooting night for things to go wrong. They just have that much of an advantage over that team.
I'd like to see more of this from Evan Fournier. He's proven he has the size and touch to score inside.
This is his 3rd free throw attempt of the game.
One shot.
And they now lead as the free throw drops for him. They're getting beat up pretty badly out there.
And I don't care what anybody says. You can't keep the status quo. If it ain't working, you got to make some changes.
Well, it's been an up and down quarter for him on the offensive end. Mostly down, though.
Ross kicks to Fournier. Inside. And finished off by Martin.
Well, Evan Fournier is a fundamentally sound player. And if his teammates are open, he will deliver the rock.
And the Pistons decide to take their first timeout right here. Terrence Ross with a strong contribution so far in this one.
Well, I think this is a necessary timeout so they can figure out a way to limit the impact this guy's having from three-point range. They've got to dedicate more resources to their perimeter D.
Isaac's checked in for the Magic.
And while we have a chance, how about the numbers for Blake Griffin? 2nd in scoring. And he's in the top 20 in steals, bringing that focus and intensity at both ends.
And what he's doing right now, carving up defensive schemes at will, 2nd best scorer in the league. It's just a marvelous thing to watch and appreciate.
Tough start to the second half, just 1 for 5. Wow.
Robinson against Ross. Terrific assist, a nice finish. Solid play all around.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
Jackson kicks to Robinson. Drummond up top. Mozgov covering. They could use a bucket, and they call the foul, so a chance at the line for one more coming up.
And just the sheer power of Griffin, one of the best finishers in the league after contact.
On the night, he's gone 2 for 2 at the stripe.
An okay season at the free throw line for him so far, sitting right around 76%.
Ken Burge has checked in for Mozgov. Langston Galloway's checked in for Detroit.
Injuries have taken a toll on Griffin as he's gotten older, but shouldn't take away from what he's done over the course of his career.
Now here is Augustine. 6 points for him. He dishes it to Ross. To the middle. Here's Isaac. Somehow ignores the tight D and gets the layup. And the Magic lead by 4.
And not hard to see why they are giving up points on this run. Just too many good looks from in close.
Drummond up top. 10 points for him. Here's Galloway. He's guarded by Fournier. And Robinson wide open. He shoots. Detroit, no good that time either.
What we know about Jonathan Isaac is he's got incredible length coming out of Florida State. And the team knew, guys, that it would take some time to develop because he's so young. But with that frame and the potential his offensive game has, he can be scary in the future.
Now here's Drummond. He's a good contributor to his team, averaging about 10.5 points a game. That drops. And it comes off an assist from Griffin. 12 points for Drummond.
He doesn't do some of the damage that other big men do on the perimeter, but inside, Drummond's got just as much game as anybody.
Here's Birch. Right side Fournier. Yes, that goes in. And Doris with Isaac, unfortunately, he missed a lot of his rookie year to injury.
Well, it was a disappointment for the young man, to be sure, Kevin, but he talked to Aaron Gordon about dealing with the injury and that lost time. Let's remember, Gordon went through the same situation as a rookie.
A different look here for Detroit. John Lure comes in for Blake Griffin, and it's Reggie Bullock in for Glenn Robinson III.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
That one misses for Fournier. Pistons trail by 4. And there's the feed to Galloway. Kicks to Jackson. Pass to Drummond. Trying to find Jackson. He's got it now. Pistons passing it around. Clock at 4. Lure can't hit.
Oh, a lapse defensively, and they actually get away with it. Bad idea to leave him open consistently, though.
And it's Galloway with the ball. He'll bring it up for the Detroit Pistons. And following this game, they hit the road to challenge the Bucks in Milwaukee. They're in the midst of a 4-game road trip right now. That'll be game number 3. Now here's Drummond. 12 points for him. Lucky 7 drops in. He's perfect from the floor. 7 for 7.
Oh, my goodness. That is how to attack the rim. Don't give the defense time to react. That's beautiful.
Augustine against Jackson. Here is Ross. He's got 20. And the ball's tied up, so we'll have a jump ball. And the Pistons with possession here. The Pistons have gone a somewhat subpar 4 of 10 on their shots in the second half so far. Galloway kicks to Lure. It's Jackson atop the key. Down low. Stolen away. Nice job to interrupt the alley-oop attempt there. Here's Augustine. And it's in there. Augustine's got 8 points.
Well, there's an all-around aspect to Evan Fournier's game and a really smart decision with the ball there.
Here's Galloway. He's got 7. Drummond dishes to Jackson. That shot off the mark.
I'll tell you, it'd be a big help if he could snap out of this cold streak. His shooting has been hurting them.
Augustine, no luck. Pistons trail by 4. Now Bullock. Still getting warmed up offensively. No scoring yet from him. Tipped away. Galloway, the pass to Jackson. Clock at 6. Here's Galloway. He's guarded by Fournier. Magic leading by 4. Isaac kicks to Ross. Outside Fournier. From 12 feet out. Rebound Andre Drummond. Drummond's got rebound number 10 tonight with that last one. Here's Galloway. A look at his stats. He averages a bit over 8 points a game. And Augustine with a clear path to the hoop. Drops in the breakaway layup. Augustine's got 4 points in the quarter.
And that's the kind of play you just do not want to give up defensively. You lose the possession and give up a quick 2 at the other end.
And Drummond kicks to Jackson. Out left to the wing. Just 5 on the clock. The Pistons need to get off a shot here. The offensive rebound. Bullock. And good work on the boards. They pick up the second chance points.
And the rebound and the follow show you what he is all about. Gritty and determined with a soft touch to match.
Now a timeout called by Orlando.
And guys, you know, you never run out of things that you can improve upon.
I think, Greg, it's important to keep that hunger, right? You're always striving to get better and to change things up.
Orlando making some changes. Martin's checked in for Kem Birch. Jonathan Simmons comes in for Evan Fournier. And it's Jaren Grant in for Augustine. And the Pistons making a change here as well. Smith is checked in. Now here's Grant. 13 points in the game. The Magic again can't hit. Here's Galloway. Shakes off the strong D and gets to the bucket for 2. And now just a 2-point Magic lead. Grant finds Martin. 13 feet away. Can't hit that one. And it's Detroit the other way. Grant against Smith. In the corner, it's Galloway. For the lead, it's hauled in by the Magic. Ross has got 6 rebounds here tonight.
1 made 3 for him for the game. Does he focus closer in? Let's see.
Orlando moving the ball around. And it's Grant in the corner. With the floater, he takes it up and lays it in. Grant's got 15.
Boy, I'll tell you, it takes a lot of confidence to go with the floater. That is not as easy as it looks.
Smith kicks to Drummond. The dish to Bullock. A strong finish under heavy pressure all over. Bullock's got 4 points in the quarter. Orlando leading. Grant outside. Ross for 3. In for his 7th make in 14 tries.
Another one. Man, he's just gotten into a great rhythm out there.
You're just assuming at this point every shot he takes, it's going to go in. What a shooting performance.
Here's a peek now at the 2K leaderboard. This year, these teams have made the most of their offensive rebounds. 4th, the Magic.
You know what? Sometimes their missed shots are their best offense. I mean, they attack the glass relentlessly, and those extra possessions can determine the outcome on a lot of nights.
Now here's Ross. 23 points in the game. 1:32 left in the third quarter of the game. Up it goes, and the Magic lead is cut down now to just 2 on the basket from Bullock.
That three-pointer is good almost every time if he's left that wide open.
Grant kicks to Ross. And so it looks like the Magic will retain possession here.
And here's a look at some numbers for Isaac. How's the last month of basketball been for him? He's averaging 10 points a game, just over 2 steals, and 5 rebounds. And this is the kind of strong, steady play you like to see. He's earning his keep and helping them win games.
I think they need more consistency from him, and they're getting it. Look for this to continue. I love it.
Grant, that's good. And it's Smith with the ball. He brings it up for Detroit, trailing by 4. Now a timeout called by Detroit.
You know, couldn't agree more with this timeout. There are far too many turnovers to get any kind of offensive rhythm. You're just trying to mix things up here.
And Orlando making a change here. Mozgov's checked in. Detroit also making some changes. Blake Griffin comes in for Lure. And it's Luke Kennard in for Langston Galloway. Smith outside. Back to Drummond to the middle. That one's good, and the Magic lead is cut down now to just 2 points with that basket from Blake Griffin.
That's the kind of aggressive and assertive play they need as we get closer and closer to crunch time.
Now, here's Grant. 17 points in the game, and the dunk by Grant.
And really, he epitomizes what a point guard should be. I mean, his skills as a passer might actually be matched by that creativity he shows around the rim.
Well, judging by that jam, Greg, I'd say you're absolutely right.
Yeah, he's rising to the occasion as you're trying to keep pace on the scoreboard.
Here's Griffin. The Magic getting the bucket. And Drummond kicks to Kennard. Outside Griffin. The tray. Pistons keep it alive. Here's Smith. And even after 2 offensive rebounds, they just can't get the lid off. We'll return shortly. While we have the chance now, folks, let's go to our State Farm assist of the game.
And he's always been the favorite to bag this honor. These kind of feeds are his bread and butter.
Well, this is why, Greg, great point guard play is so critical in today's NBA, and you see it right there on display.
And with these teams locked in a very close contest, this fourth quarter promises to be a good one. Martin is out there with Jonathan Isaac. Then there's Grant. Then it's Mozgov. And it's Simmons in at the 2. That's who's out there for Orlando. Now, here's Grant. And it's sent back by Drummond.
Drummond mixes defensive smarts with elite physical tools, and that's what makes him a solid defender. He's going to get his hands on a few shots each and every game.
Grant the pass to Mozgov. Back to Grant. Isaac kicks to Mozgov. Back to Isaac. The Magic need to get a shot off here. A 3 from Simmons. Rebounded by the Pistons. Griffin's got 6 rebounds in the game.
And boy, have they been hitting the backboard in this game or what? Kind of surprising it's such a tight game.
For 3, Smith. He can't get it to go.
And you could tell he thought that triple was going to fall.
Grant dishes to Simmons. That's tipped. It's taken away by Smith. It's good. This game is all even.
That's a big-time explosive move, challenging the taller defender and extending to the rim.
Grant against Smith. Mozgov kicks to Grant. And the call will be against Luke Kennard. That'll be his second foul of the game. Glenn Robinson, the third, is checked in for Reggie Bullock. Grant outside. Over in the corner, Isaac knocks down the 3 ball. And the Magic lead by 3.
There's a versatility to young Mr. Jonathan Isaac, a big man with range for days. He is going to space the floor for you.
Martin against Griffin. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul. Here's a look at what's coming up for the Detroit Pistons. On Tuesday, they'll be playing against LaMarcus Aldridge and the Milwaukee Bucks. Then on Wednesday, They'll take on Marc Gasol and the Memphis Grizzlies.
And for that game against the Jazz, that's a contest that could easily go either way. Small mistakes could be the difference, and both teams will need to be at their best.
That free throw good from Griffin. Griffin hits them both.
Boy, how outstanding at the line has this guy been. One of the best free throw shooting big men you will ever find.
Isaac kicks to Grant. That three off the mark. And here's Griffin. He'll bring it up for Detroit. They've played a great fourth quarter defensively, allowing only 3 points. Smith for three. Rebounded by Isaac. The Magic have gone 1 of 4 since the end of the third quarter. Outside, Martin. Pass to Grant. Here's the floater. He lays it in. Grant's got 21 in the game.
Boy, defender taken out of the play with a rock-solid screen. No way he's going to get through that.
Now, here is Robinson. He's covered by Isaac. Robinson finds Griffin. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line. And he makes the first.
And even though they're down, they are putting on a show at the free throw line.
Orlando making some changes. Evan Fournier's checked in for Jonathan Simmons. And DJ Augustine subbed in for Jaren Grant. And he can't hit the second.
Only down 2 now, but that miss might come back to haunt you. If they don't get a stop, it's back to a 2-possession game.
Martin kicks to Mozgov. The pass to Martin. Magic moving the ball around. Shot clock at 6. Mozgov passes to Fournier. And Griffin sends it back. Pass to Robinson. Smith on the wing, guarded by Augustine. In the corner, it's Griffin. And again, it's the Pistons missing. Orlando's gone outside a lot tonight. 17 times, in fact. 7 of 17. Augustine dishes to Mozgov. Fournier gets a wide open look. Score of the basket, his 5th of the game. He's missed 6 shots against those 5 makes. Pistons trailed by 4. Smith surveying the D. Passes it to Kennard. He kicks it to Griffin. Over Martin. A nice shot by Griffin. Griffin's got 5 points now in the quarter.
Well, you see the excellent skill set, and this is when you want to make an impact.
Don't you love seeing this guy rise to the occasion, going right at the defense and getting it done in the clutch?
It's stolen by Martin. Right side, Fournier. Inside, Mozgov. And Mozgov throws it down.
Mozgov's such a big body that when he goes up for a dunk, you have to think twice about trying to get in the way.
Pass to Griffin. Here's Kennard. He's guarded by Fournier. Griffin draws the double. Clock at 6. Smith, no good. Magic leading by 4. Outside Fournier. Rebound, Detroit. Here's Kennard. Dishes it to Smith. Drummond trying to get himself free. Nice shot by Smith. Orlando's gotten just 1 of 4 3-pointers to go down for them here in the 4th. Time called here. The Magic decide to talk it over. Ross is checked in for Isaac. Reggie Jackson's checked in for Detroit. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Well, I was able to listen in on what Steve Clifford had to say to his team. This game is close, and he told his players, hey, guys, this is when it's fun, right? This is a close game, and this is when you get to show what you're made of. Right here, right now. Kevin, we'll see how they respond.
Now, here's Fournier. Count the basket and the foul. Andre Drummond picks one up.
Well, exceptional at giving you that extra burst necessary on the drive. That's pretty.
At the line, shooting 1. Evan Fournier.
One shot, gentlemen.
And that one falls for Fournier. Here's Jackson. And the pass to Kennard. Outside for Jackson. Now here's Griffin. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2.
Oh, the officials are all over that one.
That's good from Blake Griffin.
And they came out of the locker room after halftime with a much more physical approach than what we saw in that first half.
He hits one, then misses the second attempt from the free throw line.
Really getting after the defense since the break. He's so hard to keep off the line when he pushes the action.
And it's Martin missing. And so Griffin will bring it up for Detroit. 4-point game. Yes! And the foul. TJ Augustine picks one up.
That's what this team needs right now. Solid scoring chances.
Exactly. This isn't the time to settle for jumpers. If they have a chance to attack the rim, they've got to do it.
Griffin no good on the free throw. Magic have gone 5 of 12 from the field entering the 4th quarter. Fournier, and it's good off the back rim and in. And the Magic lead by 4.
What a phenomenal quarter from the field. A great shooting percentage, excellent shots. This is really well done.
Pass to Drummond. Robinson against Ross. Takes it from 10, and Griffin scores. The assist from Robinson. And that's 31 points for Blake Griffin.
Boy, his marksmanship has been unbelievable this quarter, and they're still down.
And Augustine kicks to Ross. And Robinson comes to help. 4 on the shot clock. Here's the floater. Augustine, that's good.
I'll tell you, that's a graceful finish. Not just any old layup. The teardrop.
Passes it to Robinson. rebound goes to Martin. Martin's got 8 rebounds in this game. For 3, Ross bangs home the trifecta. And it's a 7-point Orlando lead.
And since halftime, they have been locked and loaded from beyond.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Knocking down triples repeatedly, the defense starting to look helpless at this point.
Oh, great effort there. That's how you defend the paint.
Well, that's just stellar interior defense. You can't ask for anything more than that.
Man, this has been fun. I mean, we got 2 teams dueling down the stretch.
Boy, does it feel to you, Greg, like every single shot is going through the bucket? That's how lethal both of these teams have been late in this one.
Jackson drives in. Mozgov with the block.
Mozgov's such an effective player. His defensive presence, ability to block shots is so crucial to this team.
Here's Jackson. They get a hand on it.
I'll tell you, his touch has been off all day, and now his judgment is starting to go by the wayside as well. That's a poor shot.
Pass to Mozgov. Outside for Martin. And again, it's Orlando with the 3.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Now a timeout called by Detroit.
Yeah, you can't let this kind of run continue. Really need to go back to the basics.
No, exactly. I think it's impossible to let this momentum continue. Let's see what they can come up with in the timeout.
And now let's present our Jordan Player of the Game, Terrence Ross.
And it's been a ridiculous performance in the best sense possible. I mean, everything about his game has been working. And no matter what they've thrown at him, he's had the answer.
Pistons trail by 12. They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
Martin against Griffin. Back to Jackson. Augustine with the steal. And here we go with the Magic fast break. Robinson pulls it in. Detroit's gone ice cold from three-point land, 0 of 4 since the start of the final quarter. Kennard the pass to Griffin. And the officials call him for a 3-second violation.
Trying to cut into this lead. Bad time for a miscue.
Well, Greg, that's a huge error. You can't afford to make these kinds of mistakes when you're already playing from behind.
Magic leading by 12. Fournier with the ball. Kicks it to Martin. And there's the pass to Ross. Out of bounds, Detroit takes possession. Pistons trail by 12.
2 minutes, less than 2 minutes remaining in the quarter.
Jackson finds Griffin. Here's Kennard. Another miss, and they desperately need a bucket.
Yeah, really frustrating right now. They just can't seem to stem the tide here.
Nothing they're doing on the defensive end is working. They've got to figure something out, and fast.
Lets a floater go. He feeds it to Griffin. Over Martin, and that one's good. Griffin's got 33 points.
I'll tell you, you're not going to find a much more confident basketball player. He always believes the points are going to come.
Outside Fournier. Feeds it to Mozgov. Back to Fournier. Shot clock at 5. Lets it go from deep. Rebounded by the Pistons. Jackson kicks to Griffin. Outside for Robinson. And it's out of bounds. And they say last touch by Griffin.
Well, he just gets ahead of himself and throws it away, right? You've got to have better focus than that.
.58 seconds left to play in the final quarter.
And at this point, just sort of running through the paces as it appears it'll be a nice win here for the Magic.
This is a game where The defense, steals specifically, generating a lot of opportunities.
And it created possessions for them, scoring opportunities, and that effort, a big part of what will be a nice victory here tonight.
And so this will now translate to 14 wins on the season.
And once the horn sounds, they're going to go up 2-0 in the season series.
You always need role players to step up and help, and it was no different in this one, as everything seemed to be clicking for Terrence Ross.
Boy, forget about his stats for a second, right? What impressed me most was his stamina. It seemed like he was involved in every play. And with that kind of activity, I don't know how you don't wear down.
Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over. They're trailing by 10. 16 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, your thoughts?
And just trying to salvage anything at this point, even if it's just some momentum heading into the next one.
No, I think you're exactly right, Greg. You've got to take any positive you can get. You'd like to see them come together and build something, even if it's in a loss.
And a really smart defender there. He just reads the play, wastes no time trying to blow it up.
Almost like he was anticipating the play call, right? You love the hustle.
And so it's Orlando taking this one by a big margin. Even early on in this one, it seemed like they were happy to be playing at home tonight.
And it makes a big difference. Once they started to really play in rhythm, you never felt like they had any doubts as to whether or not they were going to win.
And that'll wrap it up, folks. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, and the rest of our terrific crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. We'll see you next time